What is up? We're now live on Insta. Oh no, not Instagram, but we're going live on one of these platforms. All right, we're live on Instagram. Now we're going. No, we're live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. Natalie's coming on live with us on here. It's time to have a good conversation. Uh, Guys, like and share this feed. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So, guys, like and share this feed. Excited to share with you guys today. Natalie just came on board. What up, Natalie? You Crest add you in. What's going
Hey,
on?
hey, hey.
All
Now
right,
my what's name wants to be acting up.
which one?
Instagram.
Oh yeah, it's weird. All right, guys, so like and share this feed. Me and Natalie just got on live. Um, it might be my Instagram page. Like and share this feed. Good conversation today. All right, my Bluetooth is connected. Take a little minute.
That's Instagram.
There's me. I think it's me. Okay, there we go. There we go.
There we
There we
go.
go. All right, guys, like and share this feed. Sorry about that. All right, Natalie's coming on live. What's up, everybody? All right, so we're finally finished. We finished the live. We're all set up. Natalie's on live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Uh, we missed last week, but we're back on now for episode 77. What up, fam? I hope you're feeling better. That's the makeup artist of all makeup artists out there, Nia. All right, so today's topic, guys, for episode 77 is monitoring your daily actions and thoughts, right? So this conversation came about today because I was talking to one of my students. He might hop on live later, and this conversation was a little rough because sometimes with my guys, I got to be a little rough with them. And I said, bro, why are you such an underachiever? I said, bro, you acting like a loser. He's like, Chef, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, fam, because that is a lot to kind of come into a conversation to say. But I said, bro, like you're so freaking smart that because you know you're smart, you don't apply yourself. And this conversation lasted the whole period. And we were just talking about it during his lunch period. And we came up with some action plans about what are you doing with your daily activity. So he just started a business and so he just started a business and we were talking about like how can he increase his business. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you started a t-shirt line. What is your goal every day? He said you got some business partners. I'm like, that's cool, but let's examine everything because sometimes we get excited about certain things that we actually don't take the time to really process what we have going on in our life, right? So, for example, I know for me, I always have a lot of things going on when it comes to business, entrepreneurship. That is always something happening 24/7, right? So, I don't know if you come back on, Natalie. You got it on live? She's logging back. There you go. All right. So, what happens is when you're gifted with a lot, when you have a lot of ideas and visions and dreams, it's very important that you find ways to balance your life. And it starts with monitoring your daily interactions with yourself, with your mind, with the word, with life, with business. And like for me, like it's very easy for me to get distracted because I got so much stuff going on between teaching full time, between doing business, between doing coaching, that it's like, yo, Josh, you got to chill out for a second because you want to maximize every area of your life, but you have to take time to manage your daily thoughts and your daily routines, what you're doing every day. And from that moment of really kind of taking inventory of that, you start to really realize that, hey, some struggles I have in my life is because I'm not monitoring my daily thoughts. So your thoughts are basically what are you thinking every day, right? But it starts with how do you set your thoughts up? I was watching this video from Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike, if you don't know who he is, very dope person to research. He talked a lot about mindset. So he was saying was, hey, before you go to bed at night, write down some things you want to meditate on. So for example, let's say I want to meditate on how to increase my sales, how to have a more happier life. So I write these things as I journal it. And as you go to sleep, whatever the last thing you meditated on really controls your dreams and your mindset because you got to think, even though your physical body goes to sleep, your mind and your spirit never sleeps. So whatever you start at the nighttime process of writing down and meditating on will really determine what you wake up to in the morning, right? So last night, what I worked on was I started meditating on things I wanted to manifest in 2024. So I said, hey, Josh, you want to increase your sales. You want to work on creating a more cohesive plan for your business. So I started writing all of these things down. So as I wrote these down, the next day, which is today, because I did that writing down and I started the meditation process. In the morning when I woke up with so much clarity, because waking up with clarity, I had to really take time to really monitor my thoughts, because I want to make sure when I monitor my thoughts, my actions will automatically align. Once you monitor your thoughts, actions will automatically align. And I know Natalie is good with that with clarity. So I'm about to hand it over to Natalie to kind of take this home. Well, not home yet. Just drop like 2 gems. Just drop like 2 gems.
I'm gonna drop half because my dog acting up in the background. I'm like, oh my gosh, these kids. I love that you said waking up with clarity. And I feel like every time we wake up, we get a fresh start at a brand new day, it's like a brand new start every morning that we wake up. Now, you went in on homeboy today. And I absolutely love it, because sometimes we need somebody to tell us the real deal. I put out a reel today, and I was like, I had a coach come to me in, I think it was November of 2021. And she was like, we don't know what you selling. You out here, you sound powerful, but you don't got nothing to offer. And you're not making no money, and we can tell you ain't making no money. And I was like, that was hard to hear, but it was the truth. And it was the truth that I needed to hear in order to move forward and get the clarity that I needed. So I needed to hear the real deal. I needed to hear that I sucked, to hear that my business was not making money, because in my mind, because I felt good about what I was doing, because people were feeding me all these things, although they were not paying me, right? They were not paying me, but they were saying, oh, you're so powerful, you're so wonderful, we love listening to you. But there was no money being exchanged. I had to realize, like, yo, I actually do suck. And being able to say that I actually sucked as a business person allowed me to now go a little bit deeper and say, what do I need to do in order to become the type of person that I can show up and sell in a room? I need to figure out those steps to get to the person that I need to be, and having clarity on where I was, that I was not good, right? Where I was, and having a clear mindset to say, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. Now I need to get the steps to figure out where I need to, what I need to do in order to become that person, was just so refreshing and eye-opening for me. So I love the fact that you were able to just be honest and candid with your student and say, yo, you have potential, but you suck. Like, really, get it together. What are you going to do now? A lot of people don't have the balls, excuse my French, but they don't have the courage to say that to people. They don't, because sometimes we, as people, we just like to be coddled. We like to feel good about a situation, even though it's not good, right? And so starting with your mindset, starting with your thinking, man, that's so good, because you had to come in from the outside and interject, because he's probably filling his mind with thoughts like, it's okay if I be like this. It's okay if I'm not doing this. It's okay. It's okay, because that's what somebody else told him. So he's just taking that on. And you came and interjected his thoughts to be like, no, this is not how it should be. You should be getting better. You should be doing better. You should be at this particular place. So now that he's hearing this, he has to be like, okay, I need to get clear on where I am and where I need to be. And it has to start with your thoughts. I think the Bible says, I believe it says, as a man thinks, so is he.
Yes.
What you think about yourself, what you think is who you become. And so you have to start with that. What is my mind? What goes on when nobody else is around? And it's just the thoughts going on in my mind. What am I thinking about? That's the starting point.
And that's so good. In the first scripture I was just looking at too, of course, you gotta go to Philippians. Philippians talks about in chapter, let me go to the chapter, Philippians 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard, seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. What happens is when you start to really change your mindset and to really think on the things that are lovely, pure, just, whole, things that's going to make your family better, things going to make your body better. When you start to take time to focus on the things that are pure, lovely, and whole, you start to realize that, and I'm remembering to a Christian standpoint, right? So I know that God has given me a lot of goals and dreams. He's given me a lot of ideas, right? And so for me, it's my job to put daily steps forward to achieve those goals. It's like a gap. So here's the finish point. Here's the end result of these gifts. But now it takes me from getting here to here, right? Now, the reason why maintaining your thoughts is so important is if you don't daily work on that, it's harder to go step by step to reach here, right? It's harder because when you're not really taking a daily account of your mindset, things start to come your way that's just like dumb stuff. Like, oh, you can't do that. Next, when you get a step closer, it starts pulling you back because you have not taken an inventory of your thoughts, because whatever you think, you will start to manifest it. But if you don't take your time to really evaluate yourself on a daily basis, you'll start to look up one day and be like, man, I thought I was going to do this. There's something that Natalie and I was working on, and we both kind of eased off of it. That was we supposed to have done, I think, like 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago. The year has went by, so, and I'm not saying we haven't been productive, but this goal was a goal we wanted to complete together when it came to Boss Up, right? So now when we think about that part, it's like, okay, cool. How are we going to change this flow? Because what happened is it's easy to get like pulled by life. Like life is very, very trying, good and bad. So you have to realize that what are my daily activity I'm going to do to keep forward? And what I realized is if I don't keep stuff in front of me, if I don't keep these goals in front of me, it's very easy for me to forget about it and just get caught up with just life being life. And the thing about that part is I'm tired of life just happening. It's time for us to happen to life. When you think about the legacy you want to leave, what does that look like? My sister and I had a conversation on Thanksgiving, like when everybody left. My sister, my mom, and her fiance and her kids, we had a conversation about legacy. And we were just talking about that as it relates to our father and our grandmother, because we share the same dad. And as we were talking about it, we started to process some real things from different points of view. Her point of view, my point of view, and also input from my mom, because, my mom was the adult, and then my sister had her perspective, and then we're 11 years apart, 12 years apart. So we had a different perspective from each other. And as we start to gather these ideas and to take inventory of our interactions, we started to find a different place of how we saw our experiences. There are certain things in life, if you never take time to monitor your experience, you never know the growth that you have. There are certain people dealing with trauma right now because they never took time to say, let me pause and reflect on the situation, because you'll start to notice the things that happen to you in life. Some things were really crazy, but because you just going on with the flow of things, you don't realize how much trauma you have. Like even to the way I handle certain business moves, I realize there's a disconnect with emotion with me sometimes. And sometimes that can be good or bad, because like there's certain relationships with friends that I was thinking so it's business mindset that I never really accounted their feelings. And it's a balancing act sometimes, because you have to know how to monitor those daily interactions, because the best way to grow is really by taking an action plan. So let's say, for example, I have a big goal, right? Sometimes the big goal is discouraging because your faith has not arrived to where the vision of God is for your life, right? So if it's like even an example, like no one can eat, if you're a hippopotamus, but you're not, no one can just eat a whole watermelon, right? Watermelons are big. So the first thing I have to do to get the flavor out is I have to cut it down to bite-sized pieces to enjoy it. And there's certain things in life that we're so frustrated by that's really meant for our benefit, but because we have not taken it down to cut it down to bite-sized pieces, we're biting off more than we can chew. That saying, right? It's not that this goal isn't for you. It's not that this dream isn't for you. You have not taken time to account, how do I break this down into bite-sized pieces so I can actively chew it, marinate it, think on it, focus on it, apply it to my life so I can get the biggest thing. Like a kindergarten does not graduate the 12th grade the next day. They have to go through different levels of understanding to get to that point. You can't expect to learn certain things overnight when there's certain steps that you have to pass. And so oftentimes we fail the little test because we're looking at the big thing. Like, oh, that's really cool. I want to be doing this. But until I master level 1, level 2, level 3, there's certain things not going to flow out. And sometimes when you skip grades, you realize there's certain things that you're supposed to get in that lesson that you miss out. Like when I realized that, like for me, I learn things very fast. But because I learn things very fast does not mean I need to miss a class. If I learn it fast, let me start applying it. And I think that's the biggest thing I had to learn for myself is, Josh, you do learn fast, but take more time to apply that principle more. Even if you're ahead of the class, if the class is a year long, if you got that principle fast, apply it for that year. Keep applying it, because once you master it, it becomes second nature. A lot of us know a lot of information, but we ain't tried nothing yet. So when we start looking at why we're not having success, because you ain't applied a lot of the knowledge that you learned. And that's why you end up being stuck in the same place every year, the same vision board party workshop you go to, the same goals you see. It doesn't collect the dust on your wall because you're not applying the vision and you're not making it plain so you can apply it so you can really get the full benefit of it.
Yo, you said a lot. You said so much. Oh my gosh. I want to go back to the thought process, right? Because I have a client, an entrepreneur, and she was having she's trying to, or was, we got past it because there's so much trauma that like you said, we've had so much trauma that we've just moved through, and we don't realize that we are collecting a lot of things, a lot of inaccurate information, not just in our head knowledge, but in our body as well. And we're moving through it and we're not taking the time to process it. And it's showing up in our business. It's showing up in our interactions with people. It's showing up when we try to go live. It's showing up when we try to make a sale. We have all of this baggage like rejection and fear and all of that we're holding on to because of the things that we've gone through in our life that we have not actually sat down, dealt with, and processed. Right. And so I had this entrepreneur, and we had to sit down and unpack the fact that she doesn't really believe that she's going to be successful in business. She believes that God, or did believe, right, that God is a God that, can do wonders. He can do the miraculous. She believed, and she's seen it in other people's lives, people that are very close to her, winning and doing business God's way and making phenomenal money at it. But because of her personal trauma, she doesn't believe that she can actually be the one to actually implement these things and see it forward. And because she doesn't believe that she is the one, every step that she takes is a very sluggish, slowful, unintentional step towards a place that you would like to be, but because you don't feel like you're the right person for the job, because you have so many things. Oh, I have this to take care of, and I have this to do, and I have this, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be because I should have did it. It's like no movement. So the excuses are valid as to why she's not moving, because she doesn't really believe she's going to get there anyway. And then having to deal with that and unpack that and deal with the mindset, because it's not just a spiritual thing. It also becomes after you allow these spirits to come in, and after you've been doing this for so long, it becomes part of your personality. And you start thinking that this is just how I am. I'm just a procrastinator. And as a procrastinator, I'm just going to wait till the last minute. And when I wait till the last minute, it's probably not going to get done. And then you accept that part of you, but then you can't move forward in your business because things have to get done. You're missing deadlines, missing opportunities because you're just a procrastinator. And it's like we have to unpack all of that stuff and really hone in on it to see that that's the stuff that's hindering our success. It's not really the movement, so to speak, even though the movement is like, it comes after the mindset, but it's the mindset first that we really need to sit with and say, what thoughts am I thinking? What is going on in my mind? And the second thing is, I noticed that a lot of, for me anyway, the ones that I've encountered, especially the ones that I'm working with right now. Sorry, my phone all messed up.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you because you was dropping loads of gems. I didn't want to bother you.
These kids coming in and out the house.
It's that mother look you giving.
I am on the podcast.
See, this will be the last time.
All right, bye. They don't another thing, we don't give ourselves enough time to sit in our emotions.
Yeah.
Not only do we not give enough time to think the thoughts and understand what's going through our head, our bodies are going through something, and we don't give our time to feel the emotions, express the emotions. I remember my aunt died in March. March 1st, she died. On the 2nd, on the 3rd, I was trying to be in this business meeting, and I broke down in the meeting, and he was like, girl, your aunt just died. Why are you here? I was like, because I gotta move forward, because if I don't do this, I won't make no money. And he's like, you could have just told me we could have postponed the meeting. It's not that serious. You are going through something legit right now, and you need to heal, and you're not giving yourself permission to heal. And what I realized was, in that moment, the reason why I took so long in a lot of areas to heal from certain things, because I didn't stop and give myself permission to feel and heal in the moment. I didn't sit with my thoughts and evaluate, what are you thinking? Do you really believe that you can be successful? Do you really believe that you can sell? Because if you don't sell, you're not going to make money. Do you really, who are you? What are you thinking about? And give yourself space to really think about it before you are adapting more information, which a lot of people, like you said, do. Reading all these books, taking in all these seminars, paying for these $57 workshops, and you spent $350 and you don't even know what you did. Before you take in another information, sit down with yourself and say, who am I? Do I have the capacity for this? Am I actually going to implement it, right? Because some of us already know. I got a friend, she knows she ain't doing it, but she take the class anyway. She knows she's not going to implement nothing, but she be like, I'm going to just go in there because it feels good to have more and more knowledge. It feels good to have more certificates and more accolades. But when it boils down to it, not doing anything. So we got to be real with ourselves. That conversation that you have with your student, people need to start having those real conversations with themselves. And when they do, it'll be easier to see, this is who I really am, right? This is what I'm thinking. This is where I need to go. And in order for me to get from where I am to where I want to go, there's some things in between that need to shift and change. And am I willing to become that person in order to have the things that I want to have? They got to have that conversation.
Yeah, that's good. I think you have to be your own best friend. And so this is a part about partnerships that I don't care for. I feel like sometimes when people get in business partnerships, they rely on their friend's motivation or their partner's motivation to do the work, right? I learned that a long time ago, I cannot rely on anybody else to be my motivation, to be my cheer, to be my, hey, you can do it. Like, until you become your own of whatever you need, your dependency level will always depend on somebody else's action. I know several times with business, before I do idea myself, a lot of times I'll bring my friend on, right? I'm like, yo, what my friends going on, what they got going on, because I want to see what my friend's energy is. But sometimes it's like, if you want to do something yourself, do it. Until you become your greatest motivation, you always will get stuck and falling back. Like, then you look at months later, man, I was supposed to do that. I ain't never get that done. I ain't never do this. And I said, this is my last year of waiting on people to be the reason why I am successful. Like, you're waiting for the perfect, oh, you go, boy, you go. You may not get that in life ever. You have to get to the point where God gifted me this vision. So what my goal is to work till I see what I want to see happen. Manifestation just don't come overnight. Not saying it does not saying it doesn't, but you have to work the manifestation. Like, sometimes you gotta do stuff that you don't want to do. Like, hey, you may not want to wake up. Oh, I love this part. I think it's Juletta. I'm not sure I'm saying it right. Oh, Miss Smith. I'll say that. Okay, Julietta says, in my partnership, we identified each other's strengths. So when our project requires respective strengths, that partner is in the lead and expect to execute. See, that's why conversations are so important, right? When you are in situations, like, I'll give you a good example. So let's say you want to create a new business or a new routine, right? The way we break down bigger goals is by creating systems. Systems in place will always be a sure way. Consistently activating this, consistently participating in routines will always create growth and strength. So let's say, for example, you want to really create a new routine in your life, right? First thing is decide what the needs to be in your routines. Let's say, for example, is I want to be a better public speaker, right? Like, because today my kids did presentations. I'm like, oh no, we're doing a presentation every week now because y'all trash. And I'm like, yo, it's no reason why. But I had to realize that. So I realized the issue is a lot of young people are not good at presenting. The reason why, you got to think, a lot of kids don't go to church. So in church, we always have presentations. That's the first thing. We got to do the scripture reading or whatever it is. So a lot of people are afraid to present. And you got to think, interaction now is on social media. So when you actually do something in person, it can be very scary or challenging, right? So for the rest of the school year, we're doing a presentation every week. I already decided that because the way they're not making eye contact, they talking low. Like I'm realizing, as I said, so we're going to create a new routine. So what's the new routine about helping my kids grow to become better presenters? What are requirements? I have to find ways for them to do more public speaking, whether it's going to be oral presentations, whether it's going to be more group discussions. Like that's my goal for the rest of the year, because you got to think, I teach mainly juniors and seniors. I'm their last stop before they go out to the real world. And it's my responsibility, not just to teach cooking, but I have to give them new routines so they're able to be better public speakers, better presenters. So when they go outside, they're not afraid. I've realized that with me, I've always been a very vocal person, but I had those opportunities to speak. A lot of people haven't had those opportunities to do this. So let's create the opportunity. So first thing is, let me set small goals. So, hey, you know what? On the first week or the first 2 weeks, I'm going to work on many oral presentations about what they made in class. That's going to be the first thing. Second thing is, okay, I can do maybe a project every other week and they have to give an oral presentation. This week, they may do a group presentation. So I'm learning is let me create small routines, because at the end of the school year, I want them to be so prepared that when they leave the classroom, they're able to talk to people, have a conversation. You know, you want to be able to be going to every room and to add value or to receive value, because sometimes we go into certain rooms. The reason why you can't receive the value of the room is because you don't know how to network, right? Like I think sometimes we feel like, oh, well, you know, this is not my strong points. Let me not say nothing. Let me not introduce myself because I don't want to look stupid. And I think that's what happens a lot of times too. We're worried about how we look versus, hey, you know what? Let me give it a chance because I might be good at this. You know, one of my students in the beginning of school, she would always say, I can't do that. I said, stop. Let's take that out of your vocabulary and let's just try it first and see how we can edit that. I think we're so afraid sometimes just to launch out the net that we don't realize that we can't reap the harvest if we never sow seeds and watch things grow. Like it's really okay to not be perfect, right? And I love that part. It's better to look stupid than to be stupid. It's the truth. Like I'd rather try something in a safe environment where I can get feedback. Like there's certain things I may talk to Natalie about. Like Natalie, this idea I want to do. What you think about it? I'm always going to vent to my friends about stuff because I want to bring it out to my audience more polished. So I take time to really let me do it. My friends are my testers. Yo, what you think about this? What's the vibe? You think it sounds crazy? Am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? What can I do better? Even before I submit my papers to my class, I send it to my friends like, hey, what can I add? Because I want to make sure when I go out into the world, I've tested my safe space before I go out and, you know, project certain things. But I know that if I don't even have my friends around to do that, I'm still going to do it because guess what? There's certain blessings on the other side of your try that when you try, you may fail the first time, but I'm going to get better tomorrow. The second day, I'm going to try it again. There's certain lessons I teach my kids. Like I hate teaching math because they're already confused. I'm not the best math teacher, but you know what? I'm going to go to another math teacher. Hey, how do I teach this lesson? Let me get help from you because I want to make sure that I show up to the market ready. And if I fail the first time, I'm gonna pass the test the next day. So if I don't get it right today, let me do it the next day. And a few things just to build routines. The first thing is set small goals, right? Break down a larger goal into sections. Lay out a plan. What I want to do this week. What I want to do Monday. What I want to do Monday at 9 a.m. Monday at 10 a.m. Monday, like create small goals. Lay out a plan. Be consistent with your time. So if every day on Monday I'm going to do this, make sure every day on Monday you do this part where it's a part of your routine. This podcast for us is a routine. We get on. We know that Wednesday we got to do it. Next thing is be prepared. Take time to really prepare yourself. Like I think sometimes we're just so like I'm okay with winging stuff because I know I can wing well. But I'm like, no, Josh, you have to get to the point where you got to start really knowing what you're talking about. Like you have to really be able to give more detail, to give insight, because you want to heighten that experience that the person gives. Next one is make it fun. Sometimes we don't make goals fun. We make it such a challenge where it's like going to the gym. I don't really want to go. Oh my goodness. Today I get to go work out. I'm going to feel better. Let me psych myself up. Next thing is track your process. If it's not written down, if it's not videotaped, it never happened, right? And it also rewards yourself. So you know what? Today I made it to today. Let me reward myself with a positive way. So you want to really kind of take those into perspective because you're meant to win, but you have to create the design to win. And you'll make it. It's a challenge, but you can do it. And nobody said you can do it in your life. I'm saying Chef J say you can make it. You can do it. You can achieve. You can be the first millionaire in your family. You can be the first college graduate. You can do whatever you put your mind to do if you really just start trying.
Amen. Amen. I was in the middle of typing. But hey, I ain't got nothing else to say. You got this.
Oh yeah, that's it. So just for future reference, guys, I love that. Listen, say that again. I was the first millionaire in my family. Like whatever you see not in your family, I'm going to be the first. Whatever you don't see in your circle, I'm going to be the first. Because success loves speed. You have to find ways to build those small goals, build momentum, and make it. You can do whatever you put your mind to do. Don't ever tell yourself, don't let anybody tell you can't make it. You really can do whatever you want to do, right? I will be the first at this. Make a goal of what you want to do, right? If you want to do it, make it happen. It's up to you. You're made to win. We believe in you. And we're launching some new stuff for Boss Up 2024. So we'll have some stuff out for you guys. And listen, if you need help with coaching, if you need help with your clarity, if you know what your purpose, reach out to Natalie or I. Closed mouths don't get fed, and it's time to win. And I love that. I'm the first judge in my family. Come on. The first Black prime minister, the first published author. I love that energy. What do you want to be the first at? You can do it. You can make it. We believe in you. If nobody said you could do it, Natalie and I saying you could do it. I love this energy right here. Yo, y'all lighting up the chat right here, right now, with what I got going on. So, guys, like and share this feed. We're about to log on and have a wonderful week on purpose. We know that you can make it, you can win. And if you got any testimony, share with us in the DM. We want to talk about it. We want to post it and have a good week on purpose.